Every time I watch this movie, I just feel dirty. I'm sorry. I know it's the Spielberg segment. I gotta review Spielberg. He did kind of direct this movie partially. That's his credit from this movie. He did get this movie made. If you look up history, he is like one of the reasons this movie even got made. But yes, we're gonna have to talk about a certain subject in a minute, but I'm just gonna let you guys know, just watch this movie. It made me feel dirty. I don't like that at all. The Twilight Zone, the movie. Released in 1983. This film is one of the most talked about films ever made for certain reasons. But this movie is basically like the Twilight Zone show, where each segment, there's a different story. There's like 4 stories. Well, there's really mainly like, there's 4, but there's like the prologue, whatever. Either way, we get different stories in this 2-hour-long movie, just like the show, how each episode was different. It's a famous thing. Never seen Twilight Zone. I recommend watching a few of the original episodes. Heck, the Jordan Peele one wasn't bad. I just didn't really like it. I mean, it wasn't bad. I just didn't really care for it. But the old show, classic, go watch it. But this is the film that was released in 1983. And one of the most famous thing is the host, the creator of the original show, gave Spielberg one of his first shots. He let him direct like the season premiere of a show he did, which I forget the name of. So Spielberg in 1983, he was too busy doing, you know, everything. He had Temple of Doom coming up and everything. So he said, you know what, I want to get this movie made. I want to do like a story segment. We can do like each story, like every different director. And since this is a Spielberg series, I guess I should start with the Spielberg segment. Spielberg segment, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's okay. I mean, when you watch it, it's Spielberg like with cinematography and how lighthearted. That's the most lighthearted part of this whole movie. It's the lighthearted story about these older people in an old home, and basically when they go outside at nighttime, they become young and they're like little kids playing baseball and running around and all that kind of stuff. And like the guy from the African American actor, I forget his name, but the guy from The Shining, he's like our main star, and he goes down there and becomes a little kid. It's like heartfelt. But it's just kind of cheesy. I don't know, I guess the kid actors weren't that great, and that's kind of shocking from Spielberg. But of course Spielberg's segment would have kids. Again, he has to have kids in his movie. But in this segment, it's actually my least favorite of the whole 4, even though we're gonna get to the controversial one. Yeah, the kids one, it's okay. It's just very cheesy if you ask me. But then of course we gotta talk about the very first segment. So John Landis, one of the most famous directors at the time, made a movie called American Werewolf in London, which really just put him on the map. And he's also one of those directors who's very, very picky. He's gotta have framework perfect. This person needs to be here saying this word. We need this expression. John Landis, he is a good director from American Werewolf in London. I can't lie, it's a really good movie. Go see it if you've not. But he made the first prologue, which is a fun little prologue. It's Dan Aykroyd, and I forget the other guy's name. Why am I forgetting his name? I forget, but it's really short. It's kind of fun. It's creepy. It's a little goosebumpsy feel. That's what the first prologue is. But then we gotta talk about his first prologue. Okay, so talking about this segment, I gotta talk about the background and why it makes me feel dirty, and this is why the whole movie just feels dirty. Famous story of the onset of this. Basically, like I said, John Landis is one of those guys. He just needs everything perfect. So basically, the story is this guy. He's a middle-aged man who's just a snob, and he goes in this bar. He walks out of the bar. He goes back into like World War I and stuff like that, or is it World War II? I don't even know. He goes like in the war, Ku Klux Klan. He goes into this history thing, and the whole lesson is get your lesson learned, or something like that. But I hate talking about it, but I have to. There's a scene where he's to save these 2 kids from this camp, whatever. In the scene, he grabs them and he runs into the lake, whatever. And there's explosions happening and everything. Well, on set, there was a law back in 1983 in California where basically there was child labor laws. It's famous even nowadays, but back then they were more harsh. Nowadays they're more lenient, I think. But basically the law at the time was kids can't work at night. That's like on movie sets. That was like a law. What did John Landis do? He got 2 children to work at nighttime on set. Yes, and he put them in a dangerous stunt, and it went to court, and it went to trial, and John Landis at the time could have gone to prison. What happened was, in the scene, there's a stunt dude holding the kids, and he's running across the lake. And there's explosions happening, it's a war thing. The helicopter falls. it crashes into the lake, basically on top of them. The Pellers decapitated one of the, it was a little boy, the little girl, and the stuntman actor, and crushed the other kid, and they died on set. It's first things first, just in my like nerdsum, it's creepy to know that that story happened on the Twilight Zone set, because Twilight Zone's really mysterious, creepy, sci-fi, whatever. So it's also really just weird for that to be this movie. But that story and everything, that is disturbing as fuck, if you ask me. And I'm telling you right now, my opinion, I know it's just my opinion, John Landis should have went to jail. I'm sorry, he should have went to prison. He broke the law. He broke just endangerment of these children, and he got them killed, and an adult male. And it's like, that's terrible. I'm sorry, he should have went to jail. His career should have been over by then. But no, he didn't. His career didn't end. He made another movie after this movie, and he got like a big hit, whatever. I'm just like, you should went to jail. But that whole segment is just, it's so scary to think. And what's even worse is you can watch like the accident on YouTube. Like, it's on the Faces of Death movie too. It's like, that is disturbing as fuck. So yes. That first segment. And besides all of that, we get to the part where I actually like it. It's Joe Dante's, which I really liked his story with the girl going into the house and they're just a creepy little family. And it's just, I enjoy that one. That one's really enjoyable, creepy. I liked it. But the best one is George Miller. His is the last one. It's a remake of the famous Scared 9,000 Feet in the Air. I forget the title, whatever. That one with John Lithgow, that's his name, right? John Lithgow? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's him. Yeah, it's like a remake. It is great. It is the George Miller style of that little short from that famous episode. It's so good. I recommend and if you watch this movie, that last one is the best one, hands down. I love it. I love George Miller's style in this scene. It's so creepy and disturbing and psychopathic. Like, it's great. If you haven't seen it, go watch it for sure. Overall, I really enjoy the segments. I enjoy the Twilight Zone mysterious of it. Like, it has the vibe of the show. Of course, Spielberg's is more of the cheesy, friendly kind, and then of course the first segment is too controversial for me and everything. But the last two with Joe Dante's and George Miller especially, they're really good. But I don't know, guys, that controversy, it really just, it makes me dirty watching this entire movie, and that really hurts me because of that. But that's just the way I feel, guys. I'm gonna give the Twilight Zone, the movie, a C-. I know, some of you out there be like, you are being way too harsh, or no way, you can't take that and put that in the art of the movie. I'm sorry, I am putting that in the art of the movie. It's hard to watch this movie because of that whole story. But yes, we got that out of the way. I'm okay now. The next movie is Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Thank you! I need to get back to just a fantastic movie. That'll be my next review coming out tomorrow, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.